Freddie, thank you for joining me here today after your symposium. If you can just introduce yourself, let us know what you spoke about on your symposium.
So my name is Freddie Owers, third year USW sports journalism student. I just delivered my symposium about how ethnic minorities at Cambridge United in the fan community navigate themes of xenophobia and tribalism.
And through that process, you were fortunate enough to speak to Cambridge or people involved in Cambridge in themselves who deal with this sort of thing every day. How important was that in order to get some really important data and an idea on the situation at the club?
Yeah, well, I think knowing how the club deals with it directly from them and being able to have the support from the club to give me whatever figures or mechanisms, their approach to deliver that to me to take into my research was really helpful, because while I was doing a body of research that maybe potentially calls out the club or highlights ways in which the club could be better. It's quite contradicting for myself as somebody who does love the club, but to know that I had their support in helping them make a positive improvement was huge, and it meant that I approached the research in a certain way with this sort of progressive attitude, and I can't thank them enough.
And obviously, the sort of framing of this was that Cambridge in themselves are ranked quite highly as a club in sort of fan inclusivity, which xenophobia and discrimination comes as a part of. So was there an expectation from you that Cambridge might be a little bit sort of standoffish about it because they are doing great stuff and maybe that doesn't make them look so good, or perhaps the opposite, that because they're so accepting that they're willing to be open about it? I
think that Cambridge United as a club are very progressive and I'm also very honest about things. While, yes, they rank very highly in fan engagement and supporter experience, these issues are a football thing. And as a football club, you create these communities where these issues that have been long-standing do find a place. So fair play to them for being really honest about the fact that these things, yes, they happen at our football club. And I really appreciate that they're willing to take my research on board.
And to step away from the subject a bit and to move on to sort of you personally, as an experience as a whole, putting all of this together, sort of fueled by your own experience, what's that been like, and how have you found sort of navigating all the research and everything to put this all together?
Yeah, I think that these kind of things, when you're coming to the end of university, you've built up a sort of your own personal view on, especially on this course, on sport, and you talk about so many important subjects in your lectures. It's a really good opportunity to throw yourself into something by yourself that you have full creative freedom. You have the decision to make however and which way you want it. So the freedom's been great. The ability to put in stories about my family, about my heritage and my passions in being a supporter of Cambridge United has been a great experience, and it's one that I hope I can build on.
And you spoke about one of the things you're most looking forward to when I spoke to you before was talking to interesting people, hearing interesting stories. Now you've got through the whole process, would you say that was still the most interesting part, or perhaps is there something else that you found throughout this whole thing that maybe caught your interest a little bit more? Yeah,
well, I mean, speaking to these people that I shared a common that I shared something in common with was great. I mean, had really interesting conversations and very powerful conversations that I'm very happy to have derived important information from. But also, when we spoke before, I wasn't aware that the club would be so involved, and that's something that I'm really thankful for. My interactions with them are all completely positive, and hopefully, it's the start of a positive connection, and is another really important thing that I've taken away from this symposium process.
That's brilliant, Freddie. Thank you very much, and congrats on a brilliant symposium.
Thank you.